Welcome everyone to another unboxing. So today's unboxing is another Marvel Crisis Protocol box. This time it's a special character known as Omega Red. So I've said before that Marvel Crisis Protocol is based on the comic books. So some of you may have not have heard of Omega Red because he's only in, surprise surprise, comics and the comic books. So he's one of my favourite villains because he's a bit of a tool. You know, he's a lone wolf, he doesn't play well with others. He does not get on with Wolverine. I mean, who does, to be fair? I mean, Wolverine's not exactly the easiest person to get on with. So this nasty piece of work is the Soviets' version of Captain America. Or so they thought he was going to turn out to be. They wanted a hero, they wanted somebody to kick some butt for the Russians. And instead they ended up with this Fruit Loop. But you know, what were they really thinking when they already used a criminal, whereas Steve Rogers obviously was all heart and he was a good guy. So they started with a criminal and then to try to turn this guy into a super soldier in good old Soviet era Russia. But this angry Russian is a great model in Marvel Crisis Protocol. It looks awesome, and always did enjoy him in the cartoons growing up as a kid. So this box, although a little bit beaten, is a new box. Thank you, Mr. Postman. So Omega Red, there's a bit of a blurb about him on the back. So yeah, he wasn't nice before they turned him into Omega Red, so he was a bit of a killer. But now he drains energy from others with his tendrils, so he can regenerate because of the radioactivity, which is nice. So he's a lovely man. He's a lovely man. So basically, he was experimented on, and they used a strong alloy, nearly as strong as adamantium, to make these tendrils, and they stuck them in his arm. But the tendrils are slowly poisoning him, but they also give him the powers because he feeds on others' lives, which only temporarily preserves himself. So yeah, he's a bit of a nasty piece of work. So let's have a look inside the box. Get rid of that. So, Marvel Crisis Protocol, what is it without its tokens? Nothing. Yes, so in the core box there's a bazillion tokens, 170 odd. And each character comes with his own tokens as well. Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. Great on camera, right? Get rid of that. So, we have activation, stunned, and these fancy markers, which we'll get into in a second. So, character sheet. We'll start with the healthy side, which is always nice. So this guy, get that out of the background. You don't see that. So this guy, he has 6 health. He has a small movement. To be fair, he's got metal rods sticking in his flipping arms. You wouldn't have thought he'd move too fast, but he is on a larger base, so he is size 3. So he costs 4 power rating. He has 3 physical defense, 3 energy, 4 mystic. Not so sure why he has 4 mystic over physical, but hey ho. Because he's pretty rock solid, really. Hey ho. So his coils are range 3. You'll be rolling 5 dice. So you can get a bit closer there. How's that, kiddos? After this attack is resolved, this character gains energy equal to the amount of damage dealt. Drain life, which is quite fluffy for him. After this attack is resolved, if the attack dealt damage, this character removes 1 damage from himself. Yeah, that's exactly like it is in the comics. Red Terror, so range 3, 7 dice, Does cost 4 energy to perform though, but very, very good. 7 dice is always good. Before choosing a target, this character chooses whether the attack is energy or physical. And if he gets any wilds, he absorbs essence. Change one of the defending characters' wild or defense to a skull, so they can't change it, because skulls very, very rarely can be changed. Blanks, sometimes. This character gains 1 energy for each die changed in this way. That's pretty cool. So you're more likely to do damage to people, and you get energy, and you're rolling 7 dice. That's pretty nasty. Death factor. This character and enemy characters within 2 with the poison special condition suffer 2 damage in the order of your choosing. The superpower can only be used once per turn. That's pretty cool. So it's 2 instant damage for 2, and if you poison loads of people nearby, it affects everybody who's been poisoned, every enemy, doing 2 damage each. Which brings me on to the next bit. So the armor itself. When this character would suffer wounds from an enemy effect, reduce the amount of suffering by 1 to a minimum of 1. Because he is pretty hardcore. He's pretty hardcore. Death Spores. So this is the thing that's going to give off the poison. Enemy characters that end their activation within 2 gain the poison special condition. Additionally, at the end of this character's activation, enemy characters within 2 gain the poison special condition. He is himself immune to poison, funny enough, even though he's radiated with it, but still, we will go there. Yeah, so he's just going to end his movement within 2 of somebody, or they end within 2 of him, and they get the poison special condition. So, this lovely token here. That's pretty nice. So, yeah, keep spamming those poisons out to people just by being near them or them being near you. Then use the death factor. So this character can give 2 damage to anybody who has the poison condition, which is pretty nice. So the ensnare, which is 2 action in itself, push an enemy character within range 4 and in this character's line of sight towards this character, which is the medium movement stick. A character can be pushed by the superpower only once per turn. So it's got to be towards this character, which is fine. Some abilities on different models can push away, or it just says push, so you can go towards or away. This is specifically towards this character, which is fine, because if you want to get them close, then they get irradiated, which is pretty nice. Plus, the rest of your team can bully on them as well. So 6 health, small speed, still the same size. So none of the basic stats go up by the looks of it. None of the basic attacks go up either. I think this is one of the many characters that are exactly the same front and back. It's pretty cool. I do like the artwork, obviously. Perfect from the comics. And yeah, 2 large bases comes in this kit. Very nice. He's a fair sized guy. So I'll get out of the bag. We'll have a little looky, shall we? Because why not have more rustling on camera? I'm very wary about his tendrils. So Doc Ock from the core box, tendrils was quite thin. These I believe are thinner again. Gonna be a lot of fun, right? Yeah. So a fair bit of detail because he's a large guy. You can see the veins in his arms there popping. This guy is a nut job, and that's why I love him. So he also comes with a couple of cards. The Carbon Antium Synthesizer. So unaffected, it's an active ability. Omega Red may play this card, remove all special conditions from this character. It removes 1 damage, gains 1 energy for each special condition removed in this way. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, if he obviously will be poison, but if he's got bleed and things like that, yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, wailing on him is great, but if he gets conditions as well, that kind of helps him out. Grievous Wounds. So it's a reactive. During a character's activation, when it targets an enemy character with an attack, it may spend 1 energy to play this card. If the target character is dealt any damage by this attack, the target character cannot have damage removed from it this activation phase. It's pretty nasty. It's pretty nasty. Do like the background artwork as well, him fighting with Wolverine. Ironically, Wolverine doesn't know why he hates him so much. I mean, a lot of people hate Wolverine. So he's fine about it. He's used to it by now. But yeah, since his memory got wiped, Wolverine doesn't know why specifically Omega Red hates him. But it's to do with the Weapon X program. So when Wolverine was part of the Weapon X program, he's stolen. It's funny enough, the title of this card, the carbon antium synthesizer, from Omega Red, because basically he was told to, and that was the thing that could have stabilized him and actually possibly saved him. But instead Wolverine stole it because he was told to. Now his memory's been wiped. Obviously Omega Red hasn't forgotten. So yeah, a little bit of lore for you kids. Yeah. So Red Room Training. It's a reactive. At the start of this activation phase, any allied characters may spend 2 energy to play this card. This character gains stealth, superpower, until the end of the round. So, stealth, so it looks like that is Black Widow in the background there. So, Red Room Training, that looks like that's part of Black Widow's past. And Black Widow does have the stealth keyword herself. So characters must be within 3 of this character to target it with its attacks. So that's why she's in the background. So the Red Room is obviously when Black Widow was training to be an agent, an evil Russian agent. And it looks like that's the Red Guardian on the left as well. Very cool. So all in all, I'm really looking forward to putting this guy together and putting up some pictures up on our Facebook page. So that's the House of Chaos community. So please check it out when it's all done and painted up. And hopefully it will be on some battle reports soon. The instructions are a lot clearer with the single models than they are in the core box. Because they actually have numbers on it. So in the core box, you can kind of tell what piece is what. Sometimes there's 2 pieces that look similar, but there are little cutouts that only fit in certain ways round or certain locations. So is that left elbow or is that right elbow? If you dry fit it before any glue, you can see which one's what. But they've actually got numbers on. So actually on the sprue, there is numbers for the models as well. So like you can see the 7 and the 5 there, for example. So yes, they have improved it. I mean, the pictures were fairly clear before, but it is nice to have those numbers. And a nice little picture of totally sane Omega Red at the bottom.